Hey, what's going on, everyone? How you doing? I hope you're doing well. Welcome back to another episode of Twitter Trash. Feels good to be back because I actually had the Rona, man. I got it after 2 years of evading it. You know, it's a lot of people living at my house, and I think one of my roommate's girlfriends, she was like, oh, I'm not sure if I have it or not. Then all of a sudden, everybody in the house got it. So it's like, thanks a lot, lady. Thank you very much. But luckily, I whooped its ass after a week. I feel better. Took a test just like an hour ago. Said negative, so I'm like, cool. So we'll see what happens from here.
Supreme victory.
So this episode's gonna be like 90-something% about the overturning of Roe v. Wade, right? A big deal. A lot of people are upset. Most people are upset. The vast majority of people are upset. A small minority of, I don't know, Christians, deeply conservative people that have been brainwashed into thinking they're pro-life, or, you know, they're pro-birth at best, but they're not pro-life. They don't care about the life after it's been born. Like, this is no secret. If you're pro-life, you have to be pro the entire life, the entire time. But it's just pro-fetus. You know, it's just pretty clear. But anyway, we're gonna sift through some of the tweets. A lot of weird stuff happening, but we gotta start with the Andrew Yang, because Andrew Yang's kind of fallen off, hasn't he? Everybody was kind of pretty excited about his universal basic income. People were like, that seems like a good plan. This guy's worried about like the technocracy and all this stuff, and like jobs being taken over by automation. And it's like, what are people gonna do after that, you know? But here's Andrew Yang with just the best take out of all of the takes, by saying it's impossible not to conclude that the Supreme Court has become political. It's sad. What do you think he meant by that? Like, is it I don't even, like, I was trying to like, oh, okay, what is he trying to say? Like, it's politically divisive? It's always been that. It's political. It's literally political in nature. It is about politics. It is of politics. So I was trying to like rack my brain, like, what could he possibly mean by this? I just think Andrew, his brain is broken. There's no way around it. His brain is completely broken. And to further prove that his brain is broken, or maybe it did break, it's with this other thing that he tweeted out about this full English breakfast. Can't beat a full English. And would you look at that disgusting spread? The bacon is so undercooked that it looks like ham. The sausage is like completely absent of seasoning, no cooking. Looks like it was boiled for like 30 seconds. This is the worst thing I've ever seen, and a horrible representation of England. This type of stuff makes me want to go to war with England again. I'm okay with another Revolutionary War to make sure to keep this garbage out of my country. So a lot of people are playing the blame game on what happened with the Roe v. Wade being overturned. I mean, I think we know what happened, but it's just like there's people really trying to point fingers. And this guy says, for others who sat out of the 2016 presidential election because you wanted to make a statement and bragged about it on Twitter, how do you feel about the statement you made today? This is one of those things where I keep seeing people say this is all these people's fault, right? The people that didn't get up and vote for Hillary, the people that were, you know, obviously naturally and rightfully not excited to vote between Hillary or Trump. And then unfortunately, there was way more stupid people excited to vote for Trump than there were stupid people excited to vote for Hillary. Because that's just how it is on the political spectrum. The dumber, rural people always vote for people that have nothing in connection to these rich elites. You know, I feel like people are rightfully apathetic to not want to vote for a specific candidate because they don't represent them. It's like, this is not what we want. The DNC does shady things to make sure people get, you know, the rightful people win. And so people get apathetic. They're like, I don't want to just do this vote blue no matter who. I don't want to do that. And then, yes, something like this happens where Trump wins and he packs the courts. Shit like that happens. I understand the frustration, but the problem is the perpetrators, the people that are setting the system up, the people that are taking advantage of the system. Why are we blaming or trying to blame the people that don't want to participate in this broken, corrupt system. Shouldn't we fix this system? Why are we trying to vote in half decent people? Like, why are we still playing this game? And then people get mad that you're not playing this corrupt game. And I say piss on those people, man, because they got the wrong plot. It's like, no, when it came down to like Hillary and Trump, none of those motherfuckers should have had a ticket to the show. If you're scared for your daughter's future, maybe focus on raising her not to be a slut. You know, I love these takes. I love these things that go against like people's best interests, right? Like, here's a woman that would benefit from having laws for her to make her own choices about her own body. Like, say if something crazy happened to her, say if something was going to happen, she's going to miscarriage and she needs some emergency that needs to happen, just to have things in place to where they're like, it's out of my hands, and then she dies. You know, it's funny to see stuff like that. It reminds me, I mean, this is way worse, this situation, but it reminds me of, say, when there was a lot of black folk a few years ago, they were advocating for segregation in colleges. You were seeing proposals being made. Like, we want our own space, we want segregation. I'm like, we're going backwards, homie. This is crazy. And I just love this woman. She just thinks it's all about like, oh, just don't worry about her being a slut. That's it. As long as she closes her legs, nothing will happen. It's a great fantasy, isn't it? We live in, it's sad how stupid people are, man. So, women who lost their right for abortions today, I'm going to teach you how to still get abortions done safe and legally. Thread below. Sounds interesting. Let me read this. The United States will soon ban abortion countrywide. So, how will you get one now? Simple. Fly to Canada. But how will I get money to fly there? This is where NFTs come in. Immediately lost me. Immediately lost me. Yeah, let me get this. Let me trade a couple of bored apes, you know, to make sure that. This is too stupid. I had to share it because there's always some dickhead that's like, I'm gonna insert NFTs into any situation. So I love this right here. This person's really confused. WTF is going on? You see some protests going on, and this woman is holding a sign that says "Women is the hard R of the world." Now, what I love about this, because it went pretty viral from what I saw, and there's a lot of people that don't know that that's a John Lennon song featuring, you know it, Yoko Ono. Like, people aren't aware of this. You know, so people that are like really confused seeing this are like, why would anybody put something like this? It's because it's a song. And it's not a bad song too, which is hilarious. Song's kind of catchy, kind of slaps a little bit. Now, before I go away from the Roe v. Wade stuff, because obviously there's a sea of that stuff, and I don't really want to make it just all doom and gloom and everything like that, but I did want to point out Count Dankula. Count Dankula is being an absolute menace to society. You know, he's doing this Justice Dankula trolling on Twitter, and there's way too many people that actually believe he is one of the Supreme Court justices, which is absolutely hilarious. Like, I'm be honest, it's a little annoying because this is a very serious situation, but there's a lot of people, let's be real, there's a lot of scumbags out there that think this is really funny, and they think the suffering of all these people is hilarious to them. Like, there's some stuff, like, I will say, like, back in the day when Trump won the presidency, I thought it was funny to see a lot of people freak out, cry, and do, you know, they were like panicking and stuff, because I personally thought that it wasn't going to be so bad. From my life and what I've lived, there's been a lot of crappy stuff happening. Things have been getting progressively worse as far as some policies and things that have been implemented, and things that people keep campaigning on, they don't pan out because they're always lying. So I thought it was just going to be a little bit more of that. But it did turn out to be a bigger deal. It did turn out to be like packed courts that has led to things where us, you know, regressing, going backwards in time, doing things that are not at the best interest of people. And so I'm like, oh, wow, this isn't really that funny anymore, is it? A lot of people that were raising the alarms back in the day, they were absolutely right. That one chick that, like, all of those all of the anti-SJW channels that still exist, like the Quartering and people like that. I think Geeks and Gamers, they all use the same two women or whatever, especially that one that was screaming. Well, it turns out she was right. Some people were really paying attention, and I was being an apathetic dickhead. Now, this is really interesting, something that I saw. So, there's a girl named Ariel Scarcella, who I know her, and she just went on the whole conservative grift thing, too, because people realizing that it's making a ton of money, they'll accept anybody, it doesn't matter, as long as you're preaching their language. And so she put this out. She tweeted this out saying, "I'm proud to announce that I am a part of the newly founded Against Groomers Coalition. It is going to take people from within our own community to put an end to the harmful ideology and abusive behavior directed at children. Follow us and spread the word. Gays Against Groomers." And it's just one of those things because the whole groomer narrative, it's just that. It's a narrative. You can find a very extremely small minority of some weird shit happening, but people are extrapolating to it's like everything. And this is literally the same strategy that happened against gays back in the day. Now that gays are a hell of a lot more accepted, and of course people are trying to push back against that always. The theocratic right are always trying to push back against it. Just people just, it all has to do with just liking the same sex, and all of a sudden they're evil and shit. Back in the days, even before I was born, gay people were groomers. They were all pedos. They were just trying to diddle kids. That was the whole thing. Once that largely got dismissed and people were starting to realize that gay people are just people, but they just like to bang people that are of the same sex. Oh no, spooky, right? And then now that this trans panic thing started, they're doing the same thing for trans and they're doing it for drag queens and stuff. And since it worked back in the day, they're like, oh, this would work too, so they're doing it now. They're doing it again. They're like, this is it. This is what we're gonna do, and look what's happening. These things are springing up. These organizations, anti-groomer gangs, and people are showing up to like the pro rallies and trying to shut down stuff. Bills being introduced in Texas, like anti-drag shows or what? All this crazy shit that's not solving any real issues, but it's just extreme bigotry. It's crazy. Now I bring this up because somebody who used to do videos with her exposed her and is accusing her of grooming him, essentially. "You kept up with me till I was of legal age and then manipulated me into showing you my dick on camera. This is rich." Excuse me? And I guess this dude elaborates, so you might find some stuff out in the future about this, but the unfortunate reality when it comes to the conservative fan base, you can be exposed for anything and they don't care. Anything will come out and they'll say it's just a hit piece, it's just an attack, they're just trying to strike you down because blah blah blah, this and that. It doesn't matter. You can do the worst shit ever, they'll still accept you. This is why a lot of people are flocking over to it. They're making a lot of money, steady paycheck, they can be as wrong as possible, they'll forgive them. It's a sweet deal. Like if I had a, if I didn't have a shred of dignity, if I didn't care about people, then I would totally just do flips over there and be making just buttloads of money, uploading 5 videos a day, being like, "Hey guys, what should I talk about today? Oh, talk about this groomer from worldnews.gov.edu or some shit that doesn't even exist," and then you just read it, and then all of a sudden people are angry and they throw money at you. That's a pretty sweet deal. Now I wanted to point out something interesting that I saw. So the Lightyear movie, the new Buzz Lightyear movie came out, and there was a bunch of good old boys that were freaking out. Literally, there was movie theaters putting out trigger warnings. Remember the thing that all the conservatives would laugh at the liberals for? There's trigger warnings to go see this movie because there's a same-sex kiss. Oh my God, see what they're doing? They're trying to groom our kids. They're trying to groom them. They're trying to corrupt our youth. And literally this scene, if you blink, you would miss it. Oh no, there's 2 ladies kissing in Buzz Lightyear for a small peck that you would miss if you just got some popcorn real quick. And they're freaking out about this. And I'm like, no mention of the dozens of Disney films that show kissing in them, which is almost all of them.
Say you gotta kiss the girl. Kiss the girl. Kiss the girl.
Right? Because it's fine when it's opposite sex. It's totally fine. So the problem is that these gay people, they're groomers and they're evil and they're trying to corrupt your kids. Not the heterosexual couples. They're not trying to teach you about sex or kissing or anything. Like, you see how fucking ridiculous this shit is? But that's going to do it, ladies and gentlemen. This one has gone on pretty long. Yeah, so I'm just going to end it here. Thank you guys so much for watching. And I'll see you in the next one. Just still getting a little bit better from COVID. I'm like, say 95%, and then I'll really be ramping things up again. But yeah, take care.